What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. We gotta catch up on Dark Side of the Ring.
And Dark Side first. Yeah, I was about to ask which one first.
We caught up on the last 2 weeks. The first one we're gonna talk about here is Abdullah the Butcher. First of all, before we even get into it, I'm gonna start with you, Q. Are you familiar with who Abdullah the Butcher is?
The name rings a bell, but I cannot, for the life of me, picture him in my head.
He's a big fat guy.
I probably took it from me. Damn it!
It's wrestling. Who's not a big fat guy?
No. He's a big fat guy.
Not just large, like titties.
He's not big show fat. He's just fat.
He's
Big Daddy V fat.
I'm about to say, is he viscera fat?
Now,
viscera was fat.
Okay, I'm about to say he ain't that big.
He was large. He was a large guy. If you Google him right now, I don't know if you would like recognize him.
I don't want to body shame, but
he probably you a sappy hell do that body shame. What the hell you talking about? Okay, well, and
anyways, he got a Devon forehead.
He got that Devon / Dusty Rhodes forehead.
Oh my God, he got the New Jack Fork in the road.
Yeah. Funny you said fork.
Yeah, funny you said fork.
Funny you said fork because that was his main weapon of choice.
Fork to the forehead.
Yeah, fork to the forehead.
Really,
I'm talking about two-tone silverware fork. I ain't talking about no, bricks and just and plastic fork. I'm talking about real ass forks.
That's
wait, real quick. Before the Dark Side, did y'all know about the story that he was spreading his whatever he had?
The hepatitis C?
Yes.
Oh, they talk about that. Honestly, that's what the whole show was about.
That's all it leads up to.
I know what I'm saying. Like, did y'all know that going into it?
Oh, me? I did.
Yes. Okay.
I had vaguely heard of the story, but I didn't know any of the details for it.
I was like, this man was out here.
Look, I'm sorry. Me personally, when I saw it, I was like, look, I understand, and I understand how my people are. And you're supposed to root for your people. I was never, I'm gonna say it again, never a fan of Abdullah the Butcher. I didn't care for him. And when I was younger, like real young, okay, yeah, he's a little scary. But then we got older, I was like, that's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. And I used to watch old the WCW when he had a little time over there. I was just like,
yeah. One of his most famous images is him getting electrocuted.
Oh my!
Please don't talk about that damn match.
It's the way he came back to the mic. Please.
They had this like Dungeons of Horror type match.
That's hilarious.
It was botch city that match. You thought Shawn Michaels and Triple H versus Kane Undertaker and Saudi Arabia was botch shit. Ooh. This match was back when Captain Jack had to pull down the electric lever, but it kind of fell. He had to put it back up to put it back down.
Oh Jesus!
This
sounds like a.
And he so get electrocuted and just sat there and just died in the chair. I said, get the hell up.
I showed a clip of that.
Yeah, and I was like, this is stuff, and he can't wrestle. I'm sorry.
Listen, for everything that I saw, I didn't see really him do any moves. Like, they would show clips in the other Dark Side of the Ring.
You didn't see if he did moves?
Actual matches. The only thing they ever showed of this man was him
punch and kick.
Not even that. They just show him stabbing him with the fork.
Stab with the fork.
Signature finisher. Punch and kick.
Punch kick. Oh, and depending, maybe if he was in Japan, you get a diving elbow, like a running diving elbow. I was like, movement.
Though, what was the person who saw him and was like, you know what you should do? You should wrestle.
Bash
the booger. Bash the booger.
No, that he was disgusting too. No, he never worked for WWF. Never. There's reasons for this.
Yes. What the hell?
He they the talking heads, they got him, his brother with this extremely light voice, his sister, Mick Foley, his caretaker.
Which was like, what?
They even, and then...
Everyone was like, we need your home health aid in here. We got to round out the folks.
They got his CIA in the building?
Damn Skippy. And they also got the wrestler by the name of Hannibal, the one that he allegedly gave the hepatitis C to. He starts off in the intro of this documentary saying, look, I know there's some things that people are going to be mad at me for saying about Abdullah, and I'm going to expose him, but I really don't care.
Then he said, like, I hope you're a piece of shit and you die.
He said, you're a piece of shit, and I hope when you die, it's a very slow and painful death. I said, and it was like, dark side. I was like, let's buckle up.
I was curious to see if they know what they're doing. I was like, I'm curious to see how we get to that point. But after seeing how we got there, bro, I don't have sympathy for neither one of y'all.
Oh yeah, I'm like, nobody come out this episode looking great.
Everybody in this episode looked crazy.
Yeah, probably picked up a little bit. So they talk about his upbringings where he dropped out at second grade.
Second grade. Sir, what?
Wow.
Where are the adults?
He was one of 8 kids, 2-bedroom house. They grew up in poverty, and and he was from Canada actually. Mm-hmm. And he would like work hard at being a hustler to support his family, mm-hmm. making money at a young age, doing certain things, just to make money, scrubbing floors at funeral homes or anything that he can earn money. So one day, I think it was, he was like reselling clothes and shit, right? And this janitor, or this karate instructor came and said, you know what, you could be a wrestler. He was like, I don't want to do that shit.
No, but I think that he was doing karate instruction for elderly people.
Oh, that's right. He was teaching.
Like, bro, was Canada the Wild Wild West? Like,
he was teaching older folks how to do karate.
I'm like, how old were you? 8? Like, what's going on?
I was like, this little. I had to say it like
confused.
Roman. So the guy was like, yeah, you could do wrestling. He's like, I don't want to do that shit. He's like, but you can make some money. He was like, oh.
Well, guess I will be doing it.
I can make money. So, when he worked under the original Sheik, and that's where he kind of got his look from. He had that Arabian look type to him, mm-hmm. with the pants, stuff like that. That's what he has. They talked to Carlos Colon. No. I'm sorry. Y'all about to say he's gone. I'm saying no, but like, he worked under him. Excuse me, in Puerto Rico. We got prize boy Tony Atlas back on the show. Because it's like, hey, what black wrestler we talking about today? We got to get Mr. USA.
Somebody go call Shoe Carnival.
You called him Shoe Carnival?
Would you rather famous footwear?
Oh, this is great. This is great. Where is Prime at what I need? Called Prime, you picked the wrong time to go out, boy. I was saying famous footwear. That was great. I gotta write that down.
Oh, we got Eddie's shoes, Foot Locker, Women's
Foot Locker, Lady Foot Locker.
I feel like Lady Foot Locker might be the most appropriate.
Yo, those feet fetishes be weird, bro.
Yes, they do.
They be weird.
It's either like, oh, I just like the way somebody's foot looks, or it's like that. There's no in between.
Side note, Q4, have you seen Tony Atlas in person? Like in person?
Tony Atlas in person?
Yes.
Nah.
That's a big motherfucker. Like, that's a huge dude, okay? And I ain't talking about, I'm talking like the arms on this man, the way he was putting them WD-40 on them arms. And I'm like, with them sleeveless dress shirts, I'm like, bro, you are too big to be getting walked on like this.
Listen, but he big. I'm not telling him no. Tony Atlas will walk up to me tomorrow and be like, I need you to walk on my face. I'm be like, well, I guess what time you want me to come over? Because I'm scared now.
Like, how much?
Call the cops.
How much you paying? So yeah, they talking to me about this, and then he was talking about how it was to working with Abdullah, or they called him Abby. in the show. Mick Foley is in there. He talks, and Mick Foley's just like, hey, he was such a big fan of Abdullah the Butcher at that time that he would, in college, he would take a poster of Abdullah the Butcher and put it on his wall and tell everybody that was his dad.
That part I was just like,
that's a head scratcher.
What?
That's a fan.
That's a fan for real, but nobody asked questions. Everybody just assumed that Mick Foley was half black, I guess. It was like, okay, cool.
Oh, sure, okay. You must be hella white. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. It's sure. Whatever. Have you seen a picture of Mick Foley when he was younger?
No.
Like college age?
He's another one of the people I've never seen young.
Oh, yeah. It'll shock you.
Yeah, Foley's been old all my life.
So, I'm doing news that, hey, getting into this character, being the heel, scaring the children, scaring the people will be real money. And that's what he did. He would, like, eat raw liver and raw chicken.
And that was, like, bro, like, what?
The Butcher. Hey, hold on. You can't say that because his brother was defending for it.
Why?
I know. I
was so confused this whole dark side.
And he became the heel character, and then which made money, which actually brought up in his popularity, especially in Japan and in Puerto Rico. He was in video games.
He was huge in Japan, and I was like, this got to be just because you a big black dude and it's like a novelty or something, because he was like, he had like cartoons. He made an album. It was like a whole thing.
I mean, it wasn't a new groove, but you know what I'm saying. But he did make it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure.
Don't insult you that way. Just
insult.
Don't put him in the same category anywhere near.
Yeah, but he was everywhere, and he made a lot of money. So he wanted to make sure his mother never had to work again, and to help celebrate that, he brought her to his restaurant. Q, can you imagine Abdullah the Butcher? What kind of restaurant he got? Take a guess.
What kind of restaurant he got?
He had a restaurant, yes.
Oh, okay. See, I feel like I've heard this. Oh God. Okay, out the back. It's not soul food, right?
No, but it is something that black folks love.
It's true.
Is it barbecue?
One part of it is, yes.
Was like one part of it. Like, so wait, you're not saying like Korean barbecue, is it?
You know what? You actually kind of close.
Cool.
It was Abdullah the Butcher's House of Ribs and Chinese food.
Can we say? Well, I can't say. I don't say that with my podcast, but can we say urban youths?
I was so lost. I was like, "What? How did you come up with this?"
I was like, and they had to sign everything. Abdullah the Butcher's ribs and Chinese food. How much urban youth can you get?
And the wild part is, that's how he met his caregiver, because she was feeding the homeless, and he was there too. And I said, did he bring ribs and fried rice for the homeless? What is going on?
I'm just sitting thinking like, it had, because that's some black things to do. Like, they go to a Chinese food store, they be like, oh, I like everything else but them ribs. You've had Chinese food ribs before, right?
Mm-hmm.
You rather have other ribs, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Exactly.
They're
That's
not the greatest ribs.
That's probably exactly what he did. He was like, hold on, this would be great with real ribs. And I'm just like, what? Sure. So, they talked about the blood usage by every match, or as Toya said, every match Abba was in, he bled.
Let me tell you, that's the reason why I never was interested. Because literally every picture I ever saw of this man, every clip of every match, he was covered in blood. And I'm just like, I'm good, bro. A little bit of blood, fine. But I was like, y'all was blading for your pleasure back in the day. Like, I can't.
Yeah, it was kind of gross. It's like Moxley's doing that now. He just more athletic.
I was about to say he walks so Moxley can run.
But the wild part is, I have watched matches with him, with Moxley, where it's just a decent match and he don't have to. It felt like Abdullah Butcher had to bleed. Like,
because he sucked. Sorry. See,
Jesus.
real feels coming out, man. I'm just saying, but he will also that they were Tony Adams was talking about that back at that time that everybody didn't bleed, but they knew Abdullah bleed, and there were times where he would they would like get a razor from him, use it and give it back. I'm like, that's just
do not understand why you would want to do that. How much is a razor blade?
And Tony Adams said, you know what happens when you take something, you give it back, and I'm just like,
where is
He's here.
Oh, he just gave.
He's on mute.
Oh, Prime. She just gave this. She just called Tony Atlas famous footwear. That's just, that's the new nickname.
He gotta be here. We gonna be talking about Tony Atlas.
Yeah, because probably giving Atlas like 100.5, and I'm like, that's it. But neither he. No, don't need to apologize. We do what we doing here. So he Abdullah also would tape blades around each of his fingers.
Bro, because why do you need that? Why do you need blades on each of your fingers?
That and his trademark fork, and he'd be like making them bleed hard way. And
they said that he was stabbing them for real with that fork.
Yeah, and if you couldn't take it, you know, say you were just known as weak back then. I'm like, see, this is the problem with toxic masculinity we have today. You know what I'm saying? This is the problem we got today. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, yo, bro, you know what? It's okay. I want my forehead today. You know what? Damn.
Or I just don't want you to stab me with a fork. Like, that's not an out of this world ass.
I'm about to say, it's probably the same fork you ate with the ribs of Chinese food, isn't it?
You know what? Move.
So that's when Devin Nicholson comes in, aka Hannibal. And he talks about that how Abdullah took him under his wing and they were actually friends and he taught him the business and and they would he would show up some days and they actually became and got a relationship. Then Hannibal had some tryouts for WWE. Here's his dream to be part of the WWE.
Also, can we just say that they were both a menace? They show a clip before we get to the WWE thing. They show a clip of them going on a regular morning show, terrorizing these hosts.
That was hilarious. You know, dear. Okay, I'll let you go ahead first.
And listen, I know right now I'm just giving them a hard time. I don't know if they was in on it. If the host was in on it, then I guess cool. But he picked that lady up in like a fireman's carry. Like he was about to carry her off the stage. Then he like put the dude in a headlock and smashed him in the face with some food. It was a whole lot going on. I was like, what's happening here?
No, see, the host was on there talking about something. He wanted to see how he get the color. Then he got right in the character and like he's about to stab him with the fork. But he just do like food in his face and smashed him with the plate.
I'm just like, bro, what is that? This lady didn't sign up for that. She like, I'm just sitting here for this segment.
They got a couple more shows that be like, I want to touch this wrestling shit. I'm like, remember what was the dark side we watched a couple seasons ago when the guy got slapped?
When he got open hand slapped.
And that man forgot what zip code he was in.
Did he sue?
He did sue.
I'm like, bro.
He sued for being wrong.
No,
that was
bro.
the cowboy dude, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
yo.
I don't remember his name.
Why you playing the game show? Fuck around and find out. That's what, like.
Go fuck around and find out,
bro. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I'm about to say everybody gonna gas you up like Hulk Hogan on a talk show. No, you go get these real hands. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, y'all earned that. Well, so he finally gets signed by WWE, but then they realized, he said, "Oh, bro, something wrong with you. You got hepatitis C." Now, at first, they didn't. He didn't suspect Abdullah, but he didn't really know. So this was Hannibal was hired in 2009 to give you a timetable for stuff like that. So then Tony Atlas comes on there and says, "Well, not only would Abdullah blade himself, he would blade
He
others.
blade other people.
And he said that. And now, of course, was that right? Because you took the same blade that you blade yourself with and blade somebody else with that same blade.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's
asking for cross contamination.
Yeah, and exactly. Now it just so happens that Hannibal had the same rare form of hepatitis C in his blood that Abdullah had.
Mm-hmm.
They had a match where in the match you can clearly see where Abdullah like cuts himself because he has the razors around his his fingers.
Yeah.
And then he is cutting Hannibal, like he's poking him because he has the razor in his fingers, poke him in the head and causing him to bleed. Where they went to a court case and Hannibal ended up actually winning the case.
It was a civil case.
It was a civil case,
it's
yeah.
not like a criminal case or anything. He just owes him money.
He was awarded $2.3 million in damages.
Dang.
Now,
did somebody say "damn" in the distance?
I didn't know it was in the distance. My mic was right here.
Yeah. So he never seen any of that money.
Hell no, he hasn't paid him to this day. I'm sorry.
Now Abdullah claims that he wasn't aware of the legal cases until they were over because he says that he couldn't read.
He says that he cannot read or write.
Now, with the talking heads in there, when we talking with Mick Foley and who was that Puerto Rican guy that's why I keep forgetting.
I don't think he was Puerto Rican. I'm pretty sure he was from Ecuador.
Ecuador. My apologies.
I cannot remember his name. It was Hugo something.
Yeah, and it was a shock. Like, wait, he can't.
They're like, that's the first time I heard that because this is okay. This is my. The only thing is I can't go off of we went out to eat and he knew what to order. I can't say that you can use that as an example. There are tons of people who are functionally illiterate.
Yeah.
Who they will not outright tell you they cannot read or write, but they will and they'll find ways to maneuver around the fact that they can't read or write. And a lot of places y'all going in these little towns, diners, Waffle House, whatever, probably have pictures. However, it just was very convenient at the time to say, oh, I didn't get any of these notices because I can't read. That was like a super convenient thing. I will say that. We watched, who was that? Solomonster that was doing his review. And he was like, to play devil's advocate, what if he gave it to him? How could you possibly know that? Because the other thing that the talking head said, on top of there's no way that they didn't know that he couldn't read or write, they all were in bloody matches with this man, and none of them have hepatitis C. And that's not like that means that's a foolproof thing. Saying, oh well, since we didn't get it, then he couldn't have had it. That's not foolproof. But it's not like y'all bought other people and y'all had matches with and compared to see if somebody else had hepatitis C. I don't know medically if there is a way to tell who passed it to who as far as with hepatitis. And I'm just like, okay, he ain't pay you. If you want it, he ain't pay you, that's messed up. But he claimed he ain't got it.
Yeah, he claims he's broke. His caretaker talks about his house is in despair. She started bringing out the pictures like, look, he can't get this fixed, or anything like that. And he said he doesn't have any money, and he's unable to read or write, and it's been hard on her because she never had high blood pressure until she started taking.
So she lived in this house with him. Girl, why you living in this house with him that's in disrepair?
I'm about to say, don't caretakers get off? She get 24-hour care.
I mean, it's very possible. It's also very possible that she's not just his caretaker.
Right.
They met years ago. She's talking about they met when her son was small because he still had the restaurant. So she's known this man for years.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I don't know.
Fair enough. Meanwhile, they talk about Hannibal going on this indie promotion, and he takes this spike. And there was supposed to be
iron spike.
Yeah, with this referee, where he's supposed to be stabbing his referee so they get him color. for his character in the match. He almost kills his referee.
But he was going in. He stabbed this man in the head so many times. He had these staples in his head. He had didn't they say he ended up getting an infection, a blood infection, because he just kept jabbing at him. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so stop, back the truck up. You go into a match knowing that you have a disease where if your blood clots contaminates this other person's blood, they could also get sick. And then because apparently the ref was like, they asked the ref had he bled or would he be willing to, but it was just like he went overboard. And then tried to make the excuse of, that it was planned for me to do it, but I got reckless and they didn't have any medics on site.
He let me know I was hurting him.
So it was bad communication, and I'm like, bruh, there was no reason for this to be in this dark side other than for y'all to try and make us feel bad for Abdullah the Butcher being in this predicament with this guy. Literally. I was like, bruh, where did we go wrong? Because they talk about the case. He says some not so nice things about Abdullah the Butcher. Abdullah says he don't want to talk about it. And then immediately after that, they talk about how he had this incident at this indie promotion. And then they say after all of that happens, oh yeah, he went and got an experimental treatment and cured his hepatitis C. What's going on? Why are we what's up?
Everybody looks bad in the situation.
Literally everyone in this episode looks like whatever.
And I said, well, damn. I mean, it's living up to the title, but I was just like, I said, this is what it was. It was basically like, hey, I blame you, you blame me. That's basically what it was in this whole episode. And I can honestly say, fuck both of y'all.